Okay, what's good, guys? So today I want to talk to you guys about how can we be happy? How can we find happiness? And so the first thing I want to do is I want to address what causes our unhappiness. And then I want to leave you guys with one tip that may help you find your personal happy. So the first thing that causes our unhappiness, and this is materialism. We grow up in a culture that's really about buy this, buy now, buy more. And so we get this idea in our head that our happiness is one purchase away, is one buy away. And we all experience this. We see that new phone, that new car, that new house, that new pair of shoes, that new pair of clothes. And we think, oh, if only I had that, I would be happier. And what ends up happening? We put money down and we buy that thing. And so what ends up happening? We find that sense of happiness for like a day, maybe even a week. And what ends up happening? We go right back to our baseline, and then something else pops up on the screen. Some other commercial shows some new item that is a must buy today. And we start wanting again. And we start looking at what we have and feeling as if, oh man, I need that because I believe that's going to make me happy. And the reality of it is our happiness isn't one purchase away. You cannot buy yourself into happiness. And so believing that material things are going to bring you happy is what causes our unhappiness. The second thing is believing that we have control. There are so many things in life that we wish we had control over. We wish we could control the weather. We wish we could control our job situation sometimes. We wish we control other people, right? And the problem with that is because we feel as if we have control, when we feel as if we don't have control, we find a sense of unhappiness. And understanding that the only thing that you can control is yourself and your emotions. And we barely can do that well sometimes. But the reality of it is believing that you have control over other things outside of yourself is the problem. That's the root of a lot of our unhappiness, is believing that I can control the situation around me. But if we can understand that we have zero control over the areas around us, but we have complete control over ourselves, then we can find a sense of happiness. And the final thing that may be causing our unhappiness is we care too much of what other people think. And this is real. This is definitely a problem, because when we care too much of what people think, then we start living a life based on other people's opinions. We start living a life based on other people's perceptions and expectations of how we should live. And sometimes you got to learn to live life by your own rules and do the things that bring you joy. Trying to live up to other people's expectations is the quickest way to unhappiness. Trying to do things that other people tell you you should do, or they think you should do, is the quickest way for you to find unhappiness with yourself. So letting go of trying to please people, letting go of trying to live up to everyone else's expectations is a good way to let go of our unhappiness and get into our happiness. And so the final thing I want to give you guys is how can we be happy? How can we find a sense of happiness in our life? And the one thing I think that may get you there is being more mindful, being more present in your everyday life. A lot of times we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others. A lot of times we get caught up in trying to please other people. A lot of times we get caught up buying more things, and we lose a sense of who we are in the world today. Some of the best moments in my life I can see are when I was a child, when I was a kid growing up, and I would lose hours at a time focusing on learning to draw, learning to paint. I would lose hours at a time learning to play guitar or playing basketball. And I would find myself being completely engaged in that moment, completely engaged in those activities, and being completely neck deep in happiness because I was mindful, not of tomorrow, not of yesterday, but of today, of the now. And so if I could leave you guys with one tip, one thing that you could take away today that may help you reach a level of happiness, and that is find those things, find that thing that really lights your fire, really gets you up, gets you out of bed, and really puts some passion in your heart, and really get engaged with that, because it's in that area, it's in that arena, when you're in that flow, that you will find your happiness. Okay guys, smash that like button, hit that sub, and I will see you guys later for another video. But until then, peace.